Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is safe, warm, and happy. In today's video, we're going to talk about citrus leaf drop. Citrus leaf drop is actually a very serious problem when it comes to citrus plants or citrus trees. In fact, if your citrus plant is dropping majority, if not all of its leaves, it's a huge indication that your citrus plant is under severe discomfort and stress. So before we lose our citrus plant or citrus tree altogether, in today's video, I'm going to talk about most common causes of citrus leaf drop, as well as all the possible ways that you can correct it and fix it. So for those of you looking for that online gardening channel that offers tips, tricks, easy yet proven gardening advice to take your home gardens to that next level. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. If you are enjoying the content of my gardening videos and never want to miss yet another new upcoming gardening video, don't forget to click the bell icon as well. YouTube will send you notifications every single time I upload a new garden video. Now let's get gardening! So whether you're growing your citrus plants or trees inside, indoors, in a pot or a container, or for those of you who live in warmer gardening zone or tropical climates, and maybe you grow your citrus trees directly outside in the ground, regardless of where and how you grow your citrus plants, today's video is for you. Because in today's video, I am going to go over every single possible reason why your citrus plant might be dropping its foliage or leaves. Many novice gardeners, citrus gardeners or growers most often think that the cause of citrus leaf drop is lack of watering, which is a huge mistake. In fact, watering has almost nothing to do with citrus leaf drop. So stick around with me today and let me explain how you can prevent citrus leaf drop if it's already occurring in your home, like I'm having over here with this plant that was gifted to me just recently. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how you can correct it, fix it, and prevent it from ever happening to your citrus trees again. When our citrus plants or trees grow in nature, it is very common for them to drop or lose some leaves or foliage during the flowering stage and or the fruiting stage. So if your citrus plant is in the middle of its flowering stage, you might see your plant drop a few leaves. And yes, I said a few leaves, not all of its leaves. Same thing happens or might happen when our citrus plant or tree is busy producing and growing the fruit, the citrus fruit, the lemons, the limes, clementines, kumquats, grapefruits, you name it. Why? Because our citrus plant or tree is busy sending that energy either into the flowers or the fruit, into the new foreign objects. So most of the time, the leaves that will drop are going to be the bottom leaves. So the leaves that are closer to the soil level. Why? Because those are the leaves that are more mature and more older. So your citrus plant is smart in that sense. It's going to take that energy from those older, more mature leaves and send them up and throughout the entire plant. Hence, those older, more mature leaves will start to die off, lose their life cycle, and fall off. So if you see 2, 3, 4, 5 random number of leaves periodically fall off, either during the flowering stage or the fruit setting and growth stage, that is absolutely fine, because that is exactly what happens to our citrus plants in nature. So that is not something you should be concerned about. Now, what you should be concerned about is when your citrus plant, and here's a very clear example, this is a lemon plant that was gifted to me recently. It was doing just fine. Then in a matter of 2 to 3 days, it started to lose its foliage. I was seeing multiple leaves, either on the soil level, on the ground, and in a matter of days, this plant has absolutely no foliage to it whatsoever. Take a look for yourself. I have never had it happen to my citrus plants that I've been growing in my own home, but I have seen instances like this. I have read about instances like this. I know other gardeners, people who have grown citrus trees in the past and have encountered this issue. So now that I'm seeing the same issue happen to the plant in my home, I thought that it's only going to be proper, appropriate to share all of this knowledge and this information with you guys to make sure that you can avoid this. And if you do start to see it happening, you can conquer it, tackle it before you lose your citrus plant altogether. So let's dive right into possible reason number 1 as to why our citrus plant is dropping majority of its leaves. And that is natural cause. So when does this typically occur? This can occur during the spring season, when our citrus plant is working very hard to produce new leaf growth, new foliage growth. So during the spring season, you might and most likely will see some of the bottom foliage from our citrus plant start to fall off. Again, that is the older foliage. So our plant is working hard on trying to get rid of that older, unneeded foliage and grow new baby leaves, so new growth. Again, if your plant is in the middle of its blooming cycle or fruit production cycle or even fruit growth cycle, and again, the more fruit your plant has set, the harder it's working to send that energy into that fruit formation, fruit growth, and fruit ripening processes. So finding a few leaves on the soil level of your citrus plant or below your container on the floor during those 3 instances that I just mentioned. So spring season, when new foliage starts to grow, flowering stage, or fruit setting and growth stage. So if you find a few leaves during any of those 3 stages, that is absolutely fine, and don't panic or despair, guys. Finding a few leaves fall off here and there is absolutely fine, guys. But when you see that majority of your citrus plant's leaves, if not all of them, are starting to fall off or falling off, that is a sign of a major problem with the citrus plant. There are top 3 reasons as to why this might be happening to your citrus plant. And reason number 1 is environmental causes. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Say you're growing your citrus plant inside, indoors, in a container. Now, you must always ensure that the container in which you're growing your citrus plant is the correct and the right container for that citrus plant. That everything has to do with the sizing of the container. That's number one. So depending on the maturity of your tree, how old is your citrus tree, how mature it is, you have to make sure that your container will be large enough to support your plant's growing root system. Very, very important. You cannot choose a container that's going to be too small, too tight, hence suffocate your plant's root system. Now, the container you choose must be breathable, must have plenty of good moisture drainage. Again, if your container is crummy quality or doesn't have proper and enough drainage holes, you will cause compaction of the roots and you will cause root rot, which is something you definitely don't want, because root rot will for sure kill off your entire citrus plant. If you're growing your citrus plants outside, say you live in warmer climates, in tropical climates, and you choose to grow your citrus plant or tree directly in the ground. So what can be the environmental cause that, contributing to this massive leaf drop? Quality of the soil, guys. Before you plant your citrus plant directly in the soil, you should always check the composition of the soil. Citrus plants love well-draining soil. Well-draining soil, because their root system absolutely needs it. So now, if the soil in the area in which you live has a lot of clay composition, then that is not the soil in which you should be planting your citrus plant. If you know that the soil has too much clay composition, you're better off planting your citrus plant in a container instead. Trust me, guys. Unless you really, really refuse to grow your citrus in a container, or you have no place to put this container, then one thing you can and should do if your soil has too much clay composition, you must dig at least 12 feet below. At least 12 feet, guys. And I know that sounds deep, very deep. Believe me, it's not deep enough. And then once you're done digging that hole, you should fill majority of that digging hole with fresh, organic compost prior to placing and planting your citrus tree. Then you have a much higher succession rate when it comes to growing your citrus trees in that particular soil. Another very important thing, stop recording. We must never forget to check our soil pH level, especially when it comes to citrus plants. So now, there are very handy tools out there that are not expensive, that are available in gardening centers and even Amazon. The Home Depot sells it. I got mine from Amazon. It was not a lot of money at all, guys, and I will link it in the comments section below. This particular device actually shows me the water level, how moist the soil is, the pH level, and as well as how much light our plant is getting in the location of which it's growing. So now, say you check the pH level and it's showing you 8 or even 8.5. Guess what, guys? That's too alkaline. Citrus plants prefer pH level of 6.5, slightly acidic. That would be an ideal pH for them. I know that it's sometimes very, very hard to achieve that 6.5 pH level. So I always recommend aiming for something near that level. So if you can achieve a level of 6.8, I say that would be ideal. There are many ways in which you can lower the pH level of the soil where your citrus plant is growing. I have a video on my gardening channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor, where I give you step-by-step instructions on how to correctly and successfully grow citrus plants in containers in your home. In that video, I talk about how you can mix vinegar and water. And that mix, by adding it to the soil, will lower the pH level of the soil, making it just ideal for your citrus plant's root system. And I will link that video up above. In fact, I have multiple videos on my gardening channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor, where I talk about growing citrus in containers, problems associated with growing citrus trees, citrus leaf curl, what can be associated with that, what can be causing that. So if you're interested in seeing those videos, they're still available on my gardening channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. So definitely check them out, as well as they contain very useful and helpful information in regards to growing citrus plants. So now, what is possible reason number 3 for citrus leaf drop? And that is pests or disease. So now let's talk about all the possible pests and or diseases that can be contributing to our citrus leaf drop problem, which is again a very major problem and should be addressed instantaneously so we don't lose our citrus plants altogether. So when it comes to pests, spider mites and aphids are usually the 2 most common pests that contribute to leaf drop. How do they contribute? Well, basically they suck out majority, if not all, of the juices from the plant's branches as well as foliage. Aphids are known to suck the juices, the life out of baby leaves or baby foliage as well. In fact, that's where they go to first because the baby leaves are just so sweet and so tender. So how do we tackle either spider mites or neem oil? I like to use neem oil to spray the foliage, the branches, the stem, as well as the soil below my citrus plant. You will have to go back multiple times and respray your plant as needed. With spider mites, there's also an excellent alcohol mix spray which you can use. And I will cover that spray, if you guys are interested in how to mix it and how to use it, in my next citrus video. So for those of you who are interested about hearing how to correctly mix alcohol with water to create this natural spray to tackle and combat spider mites in our citrus tree, let me know in the comments below, and I will make sure to make a video about this alcohol spray. So now, when it comes to disease, the most common diseases associated with our citrus plants are fungal diseases. They usually start off with the foliage. They're most of the time very easy to recognize. You most of the time will start to see spots, rust colored or copper colored spots, either on top of your foliage or underneath the foliage. So when that happens, you should always treat your citrus plant with neem oil and with copper fungicide, which is also a natural fungal spray. Now, if you see any sort of a fungal disease on your citrus plant, always remove the affected, impacted foliage first, not some of it, all of it. Because you know what? That fungal disease will spread like wildfire if you do not remove all that foliage and discard of it appropriately. I either throw it out in the garbage or I burn it. I never ever compost it, as you are spreading the disease to other plants by composting leaves or even branches that were impacted with fungal disease pathogens. So the most common fungal infection associated with citrus plants is the greasy fungal spot infection, guys. How does it present itself? You will see rust or copper colored spots on the smaller size spots randomly scattered on the back sides of the plant's foliage. So once you see rust or copper colored spots on your plant's leaf foliage, that is the first indication of a fungal disease. So how do you treat it? Again, you must remove any and all of the foliage that has been impacted by this disease. Because again, those leaves that have been impacted are no longer salvageable. In fact, they will spread the fungus pathogen to other nearing healthy leaves. You must discard of the infected foliage appropriately. Then you must spray the stems, the branches, the foliage, as well as the soil with neem oil, as well as copper fungicide. You have to go back to your plant to make sure that no more leaves will get affected, impacted. You might have to spray down your plant multiple times before seeing the results that you're looking to see. I hope that you found this video to be useful, helpful, and informative. This is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. In today's video, we spoke about citrus leaf drop. I gave you 3 top causes or reasons for citrus leaf drop, as well as ways how you can prevent it and correct it. So all the possible reasons for citrus leaf drop. For those of you who enjoyed the content of today's video, if you find today's video to be useful, helpful, informative in your own home garden, show me that support, guys, by clicking thumbs up below. Leave your comments in the comment section as well. Let me know, guys, do you grow citrus plants in your home? Do you grow them in containers or directly in the soil? Share those beautiful pictures of your citrus plants with me, guys. Let me know, have you ever had to deal with citrus leaf drop? If so, do you know what was causing it? And how did you tackle that problem? And was that method successful for you? For those of you who haven't yet subscribed to my garden channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor, what are you waiting for, guys? Super easy for you to do. So pleasing and rewarding to me. And you guys that follow my videos, that you enjoy watching my videos, that you find the content of my garden videos to be useful, helpful, informative, and interesting. Click the bell icon as well if you want YouTube to send you notifications every time I upload a new garden video. Everybody, be safe, be healthy, happy, be well, each and every single one of you, and stay warm during these cold fall and winter days. And happy gardening, guys! Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again in my new upcoming garden videos. Bye, guys!